Hi, this is the Independent Autistic, and today we have a profile in autistic success, and their name is Elon Musk. I have to admit, this one was hard to do simply because there's so much data and so many perspectives on Elon that it's very difficult to work through them all. Elon is definitely autistic. He was diagnosed autistic, and he is definitely successful. He is, or was, or may be the richest man in the world, depending which day you look at the stock market. But what I want to emphasize in this video is that he started out a lot like you. His growing up years were very tough. His parents were divorced, his dad was very hard on him, and they just kind of describe some awful things that they won't even talk about in his childhood. But in the midst of all that, there was this faith passed on from his grandparents and also his parents that Elon could do anything. That faith is key. As far as I can tell, he was never viewed as disabled, and we tend to live up to exactly what other people think we are. But thankfully, for most of us autistics, now as adults, we can choose to live up to who we think we are. We are different, but we can have great ideas that can change the world. Elon Musk did, and you can. As a child, Elon was said to have hearing problems. It was not that he hadn't heard them, but that his mind was busy on other things. He was called a nerd. One incident really sticks out in my mind. Elon Musk said that he was basically hunted by a gang of students. He hid from them. And finally, he was betrayed by a friend into their grasp. He was thrown down a flight of stairs, received a broken nose, and was beaten to a bloody pulp. Yes, you heard right. The world's richest man was one time bullied in school and beat to a bloody pulp. You may have trauma in your life, but don't let that trauma end your chances for success. About 18 years old, Elon left South Africa and headed to Canada with a vague plan of meeting up with his uncle. It turns out that his uncle had moved to Minnesota and was not there when Musk arrived. So Musk celebrated his 18th birthday with a distant second cousin that he basically had never met before. Basically, at this point, 18 years old, Elon Musk is a vagabond with a backpack. Over the next year, he did all sorts of work. He tended vegetables, he worked laboring jobs, he cut logs with a chainsaw, he even cleaned out a boiler room, which was hot, dirty, miserable work. If you have struggled with work like this, don't give up. Dream and watch for your opportunity. And also, don't give up the work ethic. But what Musk was doing is that he had what he had to do, and he pushed forward. He did what he had to do and pushed forward. This is the key point where I think Elon Musk became successful. His character and his work ethic were formed here, doing desperate things in Canada, and made him who he was when he went to Silicon Valley, pulled off Zip2 and PayPal. He was successful because he continued the powerful work ethic that he had formed under the harshest conditions that looked hopeless. That's when his character formed and he began to be successful. After bouncing around through a couple colleges, he finally got a degree in business, and then when he was about 27 years old, he moved to Silicon Valley, borrowed money from his father to live, and he lived in an office, showered at the YMCA, coded at night, and worked on the website during the day. Again, this does not look like, especially from the neurotypical perspective, a picture of success. But Musk knew where he was going, and would never give up. He had that Terminator tenacity that most autistics have, to stay with it and see it through. With that kind of focus, you can succeed. It may take a while, but you can get there. Remember, when you're doing hard things in hard situations, that the success will come. Here are some of the key points of the success of Elon Musk, at least in my mind. But before we get into that, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the successful autistic profiles coming up soon. Now here's some keys. First, he believed he was capable. He believed in himself. Second, he loved to read practical things. He was called a bookworm. But all of those books added up to his success. One success teacher said, every book that you read allows you to stand a little bit higher. Third, he chose to tolerate risk. He chose to get out there and do it whether the chances of failure were high or not. Fourth, he had a high sense of purpose. The purpose to do the things that would help the world move forward. Electric cars, renewable energy, life on other planets. A high sense of purpose. 5, he used his memory and visual thinking to his advantage. Some autistics have such a wonderful gift that they can remember the things that they've read and think through them visually. This is part of the autistic gift. Use it to advantage. Sixth, he had an insane work ethic, working often 120 hours a week. Was he successful? Well, richest man in the world, built PayPal, built Tesla, built SpaceX. And basically at this point, Elon Musk is his own brand. He is his own success, if you will. In closing, I believe that autism is the great secret to Elon's success. I also found it difficult to get the information because his biographers were neurotypicals. Is there out there an autistic author who could rise to the challenge and give the world a true biography of Elon from an autistic perspective? Hey, I challenge you. So I hope Autistic Elon inspires you to be an independent autistic. Like, subscribe, and share the hope that you can be an independent autistic.